Well, in 5 weeks, in less than 5 weeks, they're going to see something that's going to be brand new, and it's going to shock a lot of people. I think we're going to be bringing some enthusiasm to the sport for the rest of the year.
If he beats Andrew Jacked and Hunter Labrada, he'll be the most popular bodybuilder within the next 3 months.
It's happening. You know, I'm very confident that things will turn out in our favor.
What's up, Desktopers? Xavier Wills here for Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are back for another bodybuilding news video, and let's get straight into this one. So Carlos Thomas Jr. just appeared on the latest Mr Olympia TV with Tarek Elgindi, Flex Wheeler, Bob Ciccarello, and basically these guys have huge praise for this guy. They say he can be a contender at the Mr Olympia this year, and Carlos has huge confidence in himself, saying that he believes he will and can beat Hunter Labrada and Andrew Jacked. And he breaks down those exact reasons why as well. Very, very interesting. And Olympia judge also says why he was more impressive than Nick Walker and Derek Lunsford. So let's get straight into this. I'm going to react to this video and give you guys my opinion.
I definitely think it's going to be comparable to the guys I'll be going up against in a couple weeks here. So, you know, I think it's comparable against guys like the people I'll be playing in Texas, like Andrew, like Hunter. I think it'll be very comparable to those guys.
So you are doing the Texas Pro?
Yes, sir.
That's your show?
Yes, sir.
So this is awesome. Announces that he's doing the Texas Pro, which is a little under 5 weeks from now. We know Andrew Jack's in that contest. Hunter Labrada is doing the Tampa Pro 2 weeks prior, but he has said previously that he will be doing the Texas Pro as well. So I believe Hunter's in that show also. So this is awesome. And at the start of that video, he's talking about his back and the improvements he's made to that. So if Carlos Thomas comes with a back, comes with good conditioning, then it's going to be a great show, and I cannot wait for the Texas Pro.
And Bob, I got to tell you, I think he's the best pro in the last 10 years. I mean, we had Cedric McMillan, 2009. You know, Steve Kukla with 2011. I got to tell you, maybe this guy is the best amateur in the last 10 years. I witnessed Derek Lunsford turning pro as a light heavy at the USA's. I also witnessed Nick Walker turning pro. And I'm going to make a statement right here. They both looked incredible, but they didn't look as impressive as Carlos Thomas Jr.
Now that's huge praise, because Nick Walker went straight into his first pro show after that. I believe Nick Walker actually did the Chicago Pro and placed 4th, and many debated that he could have been higher in that contest also. And Derek Lunsford that year went straight into the 212 Olympia, I think it was. I think he actually did a show, qualified, and then went into the 212 Olympia and placed top 5. So this is huge praise from an Olympia judge on Carlos Thomas Jr. But Carlos was more impressive when he turned pro. Now we know Derek Lunsford and Nick Walker are much better bodybuilders now than when they turned pro. But still, Carlos Thomas Jr. has had over a year and a half to hone his craft, come in and make his pro debut. So if Carlos has made those improvements, if his health is in order, then he can make a serious shakeup, not only at the Chicago Pro, but potentially also at the Olympia.
Look straight into the camera. Let everybody know that you're going to beat the shit out of Hunter Labrada and Andrew Jacked in Texas.
Well, in 5 weeks, in less than 5 weeks, they're going to see something that's going to be brand new, and it's going to shock a lot of people. And I think we're going to be bringing some enthusiasm to the sport for the rest of the year.
Love to hear it. Like, Carlos has supreme confidence in himself, and you'll see in some of these other quotes that he puts out as well that he is super, super confident that he's bringing something special. He's bringing something different, and if he can nail that condition, and that's a big factor for him, he is going to be absolutely crazy. And I can see him, you know, potentially beating Hunter Labrada and Andrew Jacked, which honestly, before this interview, I wasn't 100% sure, but hearing the points from Tarek Elgindi, Bob Ciccarello, Flex Wheeler, sort of has me pretty convinced. And when I look at the physique updates and the last photos we've seen of Carlos Thomas Jr., and also Carlos has said as well that it seems like he's going to be 230 pounds plus on stage considering he was 219 pounds when he turned pro. If he can bring that extra weight plus a little bit better conditioning, he is going to be dangerous against anyone.
You know, I'm very confident that things will turn out in our favor.
So if you were to not, well, let's just say you took third. I don't know. Let's just say Andrew Jack's up there or Hunter. You obviously got a couple of Olympians that are going to be contending. If you actually just didn't outright win, you're not really thinking of Tampa or another show. You would just go back to the drawing board for next year.
I think it's based on his health, if he can handle it or not.
Yeah,
well, that's a given. Yeah, of course. But let's just say you're healthy.
Yeah. I would probably shut it down. Most likely, you know, I would say like I'm probably about like 85% sure I'd
Okay.
Go ahead and get it back. I'm no stranger to going back and doing the work.
So if Carlos does not win the Chicago Pro, and he said he is very confident it will turn out in his favor, which is huge against a guy in Hunter Labrada who's finished 4th at the Olympia, Andrew Jacked, who just came 3rd in the Arnold Classic and also placed 8th in the Olympia and won the Texas Pro last year. He's very, very confident, but he would shut it down most likely. I think he goes on to say later in the interview as well, he's about 85% sure that he would shut it down, go back to the drawing board because he is not afraid of putting in the work. So it's cool that we've got an outline and we sort of know what Carlos Thomas Jr.'s plans are. But I think if he was incredibly close and placed 2nd and beat one of Hunter Labrada or Andrew Jacked, I think that he would go on to do the next show. I just have a feeling that he would, because if he's able to be close with those guys, knowing that they're sort of top 5 potential Olympia guys, and he can beat one of them, that sort of puts him maybe around 6th, maybe 7th at the worst at the Olympia. So I think that he'd continue on and maybe go again.
Do you have a bet, Carlos?
Yes,
He might want to have to buy a ticket to come and see this, man.
If he beats Andrew Jacked and Hunter Labrada, he'll be the most popular bodybuilder within the next 3 months.
It's happening.
He said it's happening.
It's happening.
I love this confidence. Now, Carlos Thomas Jr. always, to me, has come across as a very humble, a reasonably quiet guy in terms of what he's put out there and what he's said in the industry. But I love this. This is Nick Walker 2.0. Nick Walker from a couple of years ago when people were really doubting him. He came into that New York Pro, he won it that year. He came into the Arnold Classic, he won it. He placed top 5 in the Mr Olympia. Now, I think people are higher on Carlos Jr. ahead of his, well, it was Nick Walker's 2nd pro show, but ahead of his pro debut compared to Nick Walker's 2nd show. I think pre-contest right now, if you actually went back, I think people are actually higher on Carlos Thomas Jr. coming into this. So could he actually pull off something like what Nick Walker did in his, really not his debut season, but pretty much his debut season? Could he actually do that? Could he achieve a top 5 at Mr Olympia? Will he be the talk of the bodybuilding world after Texas Pro? Let me know what you think in the comments, but let's listen on why he potentially beats Hunter Labrada and Andrew Jacked.
You're submitting your resume right now to the judges, okay, for Texas. Why do you beat Hunter Labrada?
I mean, honestly, I think like great physique, and I mean this dude is, you know, was former top 4, you know, in Olympia. But I feel as though, you know, from like I said, like I feel like my side poses, I feel like I have the thickness from top to bottom thickness, hamstring, quads, chest, front to back. Like I think I'll have everything that pose, but better that we see improved on. And then from the front, I feel like.
Now I want to touch on from the side as well, because we've seen Hunter Labrada's most recent updates. This is only posted just yesterday by Hunter. Now you look at that side leg of Carlos. Now it hasn't got that level of crispness and maturity that Hunter has in these new updates. So I can see a world where Hunter does beat him from the side, but if Carlos is able to improve the conditioning, the hardness of that muscle from the side, that side leg, you know, you can see the muscles there, the hamstring hangs like crazy. If that can come in crisp and hard, then I can see why Carlos thinks that he can actually win the side shots against a top 4 Mr. Olympia competitor in Hunter Labrada.
I have a better taper, better legs. He has tremendous arms, but I feel like my arms match up just as well as his. And then from the back, he may have a little bit more, maybe more maturity, but like as far as like muscle wise, I feel like I've picked that up as well. And, you know, conditioning, I think we're going to be right on the money, comparable. From the glutes and hams, I think I'll be strong in that standpoint as well.
So if Carlos is able to bring up that backside, if he can bring that side leg in harder, I can see why he's making these points. And when you break down body part for body part, I can see it. But Hunter Labrada's back is definitely improved, and there's a level of hardness and muscularity in that back right now. But I don't know if Carlos will have it just yet. But people do say that shows a one from the back, but it's not all from the back. If Carlos can win some of those side shots, if he can win some front shots, it can be a close battle, no doubt, with Hunter Labrada, and he can potentially get that win.
Why are you going to beat Andrew Jacked?
The Mona Lisa of bodybuilding, that guy. Yeah, no, Andrew's awesome, man. Like, but I think I honestly like if you like, I remember seeing him at the Arnold, and I was there in person, and he looked great and he looked tremendous. However, I do feel that in certain poses, I just fare better. Same thing if we're talking, like maybe front double. He has a great front double, great taper, but I feel like I have one just as well, and I feel like I'm thicker than him in certain places. My legs, my arms. I think I'll have better lat thickness from the front. I honestly think my front lat spread will bode well against his. I feel like mine is just a more complete pose from top to bottom. I really fill in a lot of gaps in that pose. You'll barely see any, and then same thing from the side. Legs.
Now, Carlos is breaking this down pose with pose with Andrew Jacked, and we did this when Martin Fitzwater took on Andrew Jacked as well with Texas Pro last year, I think it was. And you can see that Martin wins certain shots, no doubt, the back shots especially, and the side shots I actually had Martin winning as well. But it's a whole stature thing for Andrew Jacked. So we might see them and put them side by side and go pose for pose, and you go, Carlos wins. But it's all about how it looks on stage. And Andrew Jacked, when he comes out, he has such a stature. It is crazy. And it's going to be very, very interesting to see, because I think Carlos might actually win more poses than Andrew Jacked. But I still might be saying at the end of the day, Andrew Jacked should win. It's going to be very, very interesting. And Andrew Jack's latest updates, he's looking pretty damn crazy. This was posted up yesterday. His conditioning looks pretty damn good for just under 5 weeks out. He looks right on target. He's out there training with Chris Psycho Lewis. He's in the US right now. So let me know in the comments, do you think Carlos Thomas Jr. will beat Andrew Jacked? And also let me know if you think he'll beat Hunter Labrada as well.
Thickness, arm thickness, chest thickness. I feel like I bowled well in all those shots. The back poses, I think I also put farewell in all those as well, top to bottom. Hamstrings, glutes, arms, everything. I just honestly think that, all these poses, I just edge them out in certain areas, such as like the muscularity and the symmetry. So I feel like I will definitely bode well against both of them, because their weaknesses are my strengths. And if anything, you could toss them up one shot, the back double maybe.
So he's saying you could toss him up one shot, the back double, which he thinks these guys can potentially beat him on. So I don't know if he means that he thinks he can win every single other pose against both of them, but huge confidence from Carlos Thomas Jr. I love it. How will I be predicting this show? I have no clue. Honestly, I'm just going to pretty much go off updates. I hope Carlos posts some, so I've got something else to go off on him, because we haven't seen any for a while now from him. And yeah, I'm sort of dreading picking that show, because I want to believe in the hype and say Carlos is going to come in and really make bodybuilding exciting, like you said, and build a lot of enthusiasm. But that's a huge call, saying against top Olympian, top Arnold Classic guys. I mean, it's absolutely massive, but he has that confidence, and I absolutely love to see it. I encourage these guys to come out and talk and analyze other guys' physiques and say where you think you're going to beat them. It makes the sport more exciting. So, and to any other IFBB pros watching this, do it, because it makes the sport more exciting. And if people get butthurt, then that's their own problem. Now, I've got one more update in this video that I want to highlight for you guys. Now, Antoine Vaillant on the AMA podcast, he actually disclosed when he's going to be competing next, and I am very excited for it.
This long, but no, I just started my preparation for the Arnold Classic in March.
Okay.
And
So as you can hear, Antoine Vaillant is doing the Arnold Classic next year. He's just started his prep for it, and he's had a bit of time away from stage too. And I think that's great for him. He needed to add a little bit more muscle to that upper body. And if he's able to bring that, it's going to be very, very exciting. And I think he can push up ahead of some other guys. I think he's actually one of the most underrated pros right now. He's an IFBB Pro Contest winner. He hasn't sort of got the placings that he's maybe wanted or positions he's wanted at the Mr. Olympia, but I think he can definitely move up and challenge for a top 10 next year. And in the Arnold Classic, I think it'll be a great lineup for him because he brings conditioning, he knows how to pose, and I think it's going to be a very tough lineup. I think the next year Arnold Classic is going to be extremely tough. I think we'll see guys like James Hollingshead, Martin Fitzwater, and then a bunch of guys from the Olympia. So it's going to be stacked. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this video. Do you think Carlos Thomas Jr. will win the Texas Pro against the likes of Hunter Labrada and Andrew Jacked? Or do you think he'll fall behind those guys? And guys, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell button because I have a ton of content going up this weekend from the Chicago Pro. I'll have lives, post shows, also got a preview coming out very, very soon. So make sure you subscribe and check that out. And if you did like this video, give the video a thumbs up and smash that like button. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. I'm Xavier Wills. This is Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are out.